Okay, so today I want to talk to you about rock and roll burnout. It's funny being in my 40s, you get this unique perspective on life and you get to really look back and reflect. And then now, in your chapter of your life in this book, you are playing this role. I remember being a musician in my 20s, and I remember going to people's houses and being like, "Oh wow, you're a musician. Why aren't you playing?" And they're just like, I used to pick up the guitar all the time." And here I am in my early 20s, going home, just picking up my guitar, practicing, and I'm just in love with it. And how could they? Oh, they're just not real. They're not practicing. They're not, they don't have the fire or whatever. And then now here I am at 41, and I play guitar my entire life. I've spent those hours in a bedroom just playing, and I think the years of just all of the work and little payout, like to me the payout would be to just perform live. I enjoy that. I enjoy playing for people. I enjoy for, just seeing people being the oohs and ahs and having a good time at a rock and roll show. I love that. That's to me, that's what I love more than anything. Is that's the payoff. So when you spend 6 months to a year with a band in this room, and then the band breaks up and you don't even get to play a show, that increases your burnout. Like if you're workshopping the entire time learning this stuff and you're like, oh, and then like what you're learning it for has no payout, you get this burnout. So like I really find myself reflecting with a lot of these musicians that I have met over the years that got a little older, and they just have this very like lackluster love for for music, but they still do it in some way, shape, form, or capacity. It's like me. I'll do it for the rest of my life. I give lessons. I enjoy teaching. Uh, um, it just makes me feel good knowing that I'm helping create little rock and roll babies out there, and helping them find their way in music, because I never had that. At my age, I'm sitting in a room with VHSs hitting pause. Now if you're 13 or 12 and you get a guitar, you get to go on YouTube and you can literally find, you could become a master. So whenever I see good guitar players nowadays, I think to myself, well, you should be a good guitar player. You should. Look what you have around you. The abilities to learn these modes and scales, and now you got technology, and there might be a little bit more payout. Like at the peak of my playing, my guitar playing, there was no TikTok or anything like that where you're going to make a video and get a lot of views and it feel really good. And I used to make guitar videos for YouTube that had thousands of views, but it wasn't like you're making them in the way that they are now, where the sound is great and the image is great and so forth. And then I meet rock stars that are just, they don't play. They'll pick up the guitar. I can pick up the guitar. I can do leads. I can do things. I mean, it's part of my life forever. I'm always always going to be able to do something with the guitar. Even if I quit playing, I'll always be able to do something with the guitar. And that's what I kind of wanted to talk about today, is just the burnout and the unique perspective of being older and seeing and being on a plane or a level or a part of my life that I was seeing others at. And now I'm identifying with how they feel and the burnout. Or you'll meet a guy that, or a person, you'll meet a person that you're like, well, why aren't they why don't they join a band? Or yeah, they said they'll join a band, but they're really fully not into it, so they're not really showing up for practice or whatever. Or they're And then I'm experiencing that because I do meet people that want to be in a band with me, but like for me, if the subject or if what I'm doing isn't something I'm really passionate about, I just don't have the drive to do it. I don't think I want to do it. I'm like, yeah, it sounds good because this is what I do. It's music. It's okay music, or maybe what they're approaching me for is okay. Yeah, I'll be in a band, But it becomes the porridge is too hot, the porridge is too cold. Nothing is right, and I found that to be a very fascinating situation that I find myself in. To see myself going, wow, why am I not, why is my energy not right for this project or whatever? Or if I meet musicians that might have a certain attitude, or hey man, you do whatever you feel you need to do for your band. It's your baby. I'm not going to judge you. But if you're telling me like, oh well, I'll if I keep finding the best guys, I will just replace you if I find somebody better, and blah 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 blah. And it's just like, man, I just don't want to be looked at like cattle, yeah, at an auction. All of my favorite bands, I kind of feel like come from a place where none of them were maybe the the best in their area. They maybe couldn't play slow jazz, or whatever the crap. Um, but when they got together, they created something, and they had a magic in their sound and performance. And I resonate with that. I would love to find that. Even as I go forward and people talk to me about bands, I'm very cautious because time is important now. Now it's like, well, I'm 41. I'm not 25, man. I don't have those days to give you my energy and then we not do anything, or they don't have a payoff, or there's not a what am I getting out of it? You know what I'm saying? So now it's like, okay, I have learned from learning in my 20s and seeing that, not understanding it now that I'm in my 40s and I understand it. It's like, okay, you just got to be honest with yourself. And if you're not feeling what they're wanting to do with you or their direction, don't even dip your toe in it. Automatically back out of it and just be like, no, I'm just not vibing with that. That doesn't intrigue me. That doesn't give me energy and strength to do that, because now I'm at the point in life where, probably not going to make it famous or anything. It's like I've got to do things that I enjoy. So when I got burnt out on the guitar, I went to voice school. I love singing. I love learning singing. It's kept me in music. I kind of think that that's another thing that happens whenever you're getting a band together and you can't find musicians. Guess what? You go into the studio, you find yourself playing bass, or you find yourself doing harmonies, or you just pick up all this stuff because of the lack of the people around you. So, like, even with me, learning other instruments, understanding drums, understanding all this stuff, it was also because of a scarcity mindset and it not being around. But then you just get burned out, man, and you just still try to find your passions. But I wanted to kind of talk about this because I see this in famous musicians and everything, guys that are just like sitting at home, and you're like, well, why aren't they touring? Well, it's because they don't want to workshop for 6 fucking months and learning music that they know they can play. That's the other thing. Like, you'll hear a song you'll see on TV, you're like, yeah, I can play that. Yeah, I could work that up for 2 or 3 weeks and really nail that. But then you don't do it because you know you can. And then there's no payoff, and you're going to put all this time into a song that nobody's going to hear you do. And then I just find myself going, you just got to find the love and not worry about anything else. If you find things that you're doing that you're loving, that's the path you should go down. That's the right path, whether it's right or wrong or indifferent. That's what keeps you going. So if you have a passion, I'm just telling you to keep finding that passion, to find other outlets within there, because it's there. Like, with me with singing, I love guitar, but I don't love guitar to study it and really just be amazing at it anymore. I'm that with vocals now. So if you have a passion, no matter what it is, see if there's something else within that passion that you can unlock to keep you staying hungry. And that's what today's video is about.